One, obviously, we've been working very hard on. We was trying to get a shot, straight shot at Selby, but unfortunately the negotiations became very difficult. So we thought we're forced the issue. And Dennis, obviously, is a fine fighter, former European champion. We managed to get the IBF to agree to this final eliminator. Josh has got to get through Dennis. It's a tough fight, but this guy's determined. He needs to get to the next level. And if he comes through it, which fingers crossed, I hope he does, then Selby has nowhere to go. He's going to have to fight him, and it will be on terms of a purse bid rather than the ridiculous things they were asking us for. Some of them was just unbelievable. So we are behind Josh, and we said from day one, since we've been working with him, we're behind boxing in Leeds. We're here to deliver what the fans want. That's for the local hero to come through, get his opportunity to fight for world title. We've given him the opportunity. It's narrowed down to Josh to get in the ring and make it happen.
Frank, just a word you mentioned about the crowd and about being back here in Leeds. Just give us a few words, your thoughts about the boxing here in Leeds, because there's always an amazing atmosphere, isn't there?
Well, I thought it was a great atmosphere last time. I mean, I think it's the first time I've ever got a phone out and actually took a photo of, filmed the crowd. It was so good to watch. They were so into it, so enjoying it, great supporters, and the atmosphere was fabulous. It was just fabulous, and I'm just sort of envisaging next year, next spring, Josh comes through, beats Dennis, fingers crossed Dennis comes through, and then Leeds football ground. That's what Josh wants, that's where he wants to be. Can you imagine the atmosphere there? First of all, got to get through the guy on our left.
Because Dennis, I'm sure, would like to have a world title fight in Copenhagen football ground, which wouldn't be bad.
I'm sure it would. It'd be wonderful, wonderful for him. But you know what? Leeds is where we're going to be.
Well, as well as the main event, we'll talk to the two guys in a little bit more detail. We've also got people involved in the undercard. We've got a tremendous British Super Lightweight Championship fight between Tyrone Nurse, who's sitting away to my right, with his dad and trainer Chris Aston, and Jack Catterall, who's along with his trainer Haroon Headley. We'll be talking more about that. And before we turn to them, the vacant English Super Featherweight title as well between Zelfa Barrett and Chris Conwell. A couple of Manchester fighters. I know I have to say that carefully here in Leeds, but there is great rivalry, and Zelfa, Frank, an exciting young talent coming through, and somebody of whom a lot's expected, but he's not going to have it easy against Chris.
No, he's not, but Zelfa comes from a fighting family. His uncle I was very privileged to promote years ago, and we remain good friends, and I'm enjoying working with him. And for me, Zelfa is he's one of the outstanding young fighters in the UK, and this hopefully will be a step towards him getting into fighting for the British title. Having said that, Chris is no slouch. He's coming to fight. He ain't coming to make up the numbers. A lot of pride on the line. They're two Manchester fighters, so somebody's going to walk down the city with their head high. And I'm obviously unbiased. I hope that's going to be so.
Well, let's start with Chris. Chris, you obviously have your plans of your own, and you hear all the hype about Zelfa. What do you make of him, and what do you make of this fight?
Just like to thank Frank first for putting on a massive show for Leeds. I'm excited about it. I've known Zelfa for a long time. We're actually good pals, really. I know behind the team, I respect him. But come fight night, it's business, really. We both want what the other's going to get. We both want the same thing. It's just down to business for the fight.
Have you sparred together? Have you been in the ring together?
It was quite a few years back, actually. But I've been up the gym a few times and stuff, and we live about 10 minutes away, and I know him well, but business, that's it, it'll be business on the night, and I'll be ready.
You're a big City fan, Chris. You bonded on that, or are you a United boy?
United. I'm red.
Well, Zelfa, you've got that in common with the guy who you fought. There's all this hype about you. How far away now do you think you are from starting to attain your ambitions and get where you really want to be in this sport?
First of all, I'd like to thank Frank for fighting the show, and after Chris, I believe in myself. I believe he's going to come and bring his A game, but I believe in what I'm going to do, so when I win, it's just from there. I'm ready. I've had a lot of fights had a lot of learning fights. They've been very tough, durable opponents. Chris is like the first proper, very durable fighter. So after Chris, then I'm ready for anyone and anything.
What do you know about Chris as a fighter, Zelfman?
I just know, man, he's got a lot of heart and he trains hard. And we're both from Manchester, so we both can fight. Got a lot of pride in the line. And
fighting over here in Leeds, you're kind of looking to sway a whole new county of potential supporters.
I wouldn't say that because the Leeds fans are loyal with the Leeds people, but I might get a few people that enjoy my style and like the way I fight, but I wouldn't say, because I'm a mad red myself, so I just think they'd like me on the day, and then after that, just be like, you know.
Is there a danger, I mean, I say this seriously, is there a danger that you look past Chris too soon and don't give him the necessary respect?
No, definitely not. I respect him massively in and out the ring, and I respect every fighter. I train like it's going to be a world title fight, and I respect him massively, so I wouldn't ever underestimate him. That is just, I'm a smart man. I wouldn't ever underestimate him, and I know that he's going to come to fight.
Do you think he's all that people say he is, Chris? Have you got what it takes to take him into another level?
We'll see.
Okay, well, good luck. Let's hope it's a good one. Now, the fight I was talking about as the main support is the British Super Lightweight title, Tyrone against Jack Catterall. And Frank, it's an interesting clash of styles, this one, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. It's the new kid on the block against Tyrone in Jack, and obviously in Tyrone, who's the champion. You know, he's a great professional. He's solid, and They've done a fantastic job over the years with him, and he's been a difficult fighter to beat. But Jack's, as I say, he's the young kid on the block. He's the kid who's, we've had certainly I've had a very high hopes of him, and I think he's at the stage of his career where he needs this fight, these type of fights, this fight. I think when, you know, not the last fight, but a couple of fights before, he felt like he was going through the motions. He's changed trainers now, and he's with Tyrone, who's doing a great job with him. But for me, we're going to see what he's got. This is the fight. We're going to see whether Jack's the real deal or not.
I'm not a massive social media follower, but I do follow it enough to know that Chris and Haroon have exchanged the odd pleasantry in the run up to this. What's all that about, Chris?
Yeah, me and Haroon, we've had a few disagreements along the way, but it all started back when a year ago when Jack was mandated to fight Tyrone for the British title, and it never happened. And to be fair, I got a bit naughty on Facebook, like you do, and Haroon phoned me and said, I don't like what you're saying. I said, well, I don't like you pulling out, so let's get it on. As soon as you're ready, let's get it on, because this has been, it wasn't just a mandatory position. It had been talked about with Jack Catterall before that, maybe 6-9 months before that, and we'd always said, yeah, we've always been ready to step up. I think the time now, I think they probably think it's right time. I think they probably think Tyrone's a little bit jaded, a little bit past his best. But what I've seen in the last few weeks, they've got it wrong.
So what are you saying? You're saying, let's say it clear, are you saying that he's avoided it in the past?
Yeah, I'm saying we've been open to this fight now for a couple of years, and we wanted this fight. When we beat Jenkins, which we beat in both fights, we were ready for these fights. We were ready then.
The board ordered it. Was it about 8 months ago?
Yeah, 9 months ago they ordered it, but before that I'm talking, we were ready for these fights then, and we were open to these fights, and we talked about these fights with people. And, you know, I think other people didn't want to fight us, maybe Tyrone were putting in better performances. I think people were worried about him. And I've seen a couple of guys now slip and slide past British title. I don't believe any of them thought that getting some continental title would make them the best in Britain. I think they avoided him. And I think now, recently, a couple of performances off Tyrone, but I think he's not motivated. I don't think they've been best performances. I've been first to tell him, but I'm telling you now. You know, Haroon says he's not the Matrix. I say he is. I say he's one of the most complicated fighters I've seen.
The Oracle, and the Oracle said they'd never seen you before.
You've got the Oracle, we've got the Matrix, kid.
Nah, the Oracle's the one who said he's the chosen one, man. It's not you, I'll tell you that straight.
Well, Steve Dandio might be the chosen one in Manchester, but you know, Tyrone spars with them guys and he's still the Matrix, you know what I mean? Don't matter who we spar, he's the Matrix and that's it.
Sparring, and when it Chris.
Yeah,
little gloves on
and fighting and winning a lot of hard 12 rounders and against good opponents.
Yeah, fair play. Listen, I've never turned around and doubted what Tyrone has been doing. I've never done that. I just believe, and we all believe, that Jack will get to Tyrone and knock him out.
Yeah, well, that's a kid who's had nearly 100 fights and never been knocked out, been in with some big punches.
But he goes down though, Chris, doesn't he?
It does go down, yeah.
Off jabs. You understand me?
Yeah.
Twice in a fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Straight solid jab.
And you know what?
But what I'm saying is, yeah, we got up.
And you know what? He got up and won the rest of the fight.
Yeah, but
he won the rest of the fight.
He's not been hit hard. Joe Hughes, if Joe Hughes had 2 hands, yeah, he would have stopped Tyrone.
Yeah,
be honest.
Probably on that
I
line.
was sat behind the corner, Chris, and I watched you panic.
Hey, I'm agreeing with you.
Going on?
I'm agreeing with you. Probably on that night he would. But what I'm saying is, this is a motivated Tyrone nurse. It's a different Tyrone nurse. Jack knows, because what you don't realise, Aaron, is, you know, years before you were involved in Jack used to film Tyrone doing 12 rounders with world champions down at you were the film boy. You were the film boy. You were the camera. Because you couldn't do the 12 rounds with the world champions. You were doing it. You were filming them, remember?
Hey Chris, I'll tell you this. You know the look that you had in your eyes in Berry Sports or when Nick Boyd knocked you out, that's the same look that Tyrone had in his eyes. October 21st. And he may even make the same snoring noise that you had as well, because it was horrible. And as a young'un, I watched that. I was there because my cousin boxed on the undercard. I thought, oof. You know what I mean? So, you know, you run back again, history might repeat itself.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll go for that one. You know, so funny enough, Mark Ops were on phone last night reminding me of that. Getting spat by Nicky Boy. I remember turning up and somebody knocked out 80 people, something in amateurs.
He could punch though, he could punch, couldn't he?
He won't be happening tomorrow next year.
He was a big ass puncher though, wasn't he?
Entertaining though it is, and we could continue listening to this for another 10 minutes, I'm sure. We probably want to hear from the 2 fighters as well. Jack, plenty of spark between the 2 trainers. How about you and Tyrone? I mean, he's man there, trainer, dad is saying that you could have had it 2 years ago, but you didn't really want it and avoided it. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I'm just excited for the fight, obviously. We've heard Chris talk a lot, I just want to see what Tyrone actually has to say for the fight.
I don't think Tyrone's sweet.
Go on man, Tyrone.
You know me, Jack, I've had a few words like yourself, you know. We keep, you know, you get it on the ring and that's where the business is set, whatever we do. We can leave the press conferences to these 2 if you want. So, these 2 will side for it if you want, we'll just get it on the net.
What's your explanation for your last 2 fights? Because by your own standards, you know, you didn't really deliver, did you?
No, shit. Shit,
I was going to say.
That's, you know, that's lack of motivation, time out of the ring, everything. You can make all excuses you want, oh shit, and that's that. But, you know, I'm excited for this fight, Jack's excited for this fight. The fans are excited for this fight, this is a great fight.
How does this stand with the fights that you've had previously in your career? I mean, obviously, a lot of people are talking about Jack as a star in the making. This is a big one for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Jack's wise, number 2 at WBO, and then got mandatory, so he's more or less mandatory for WBO, so you take everything into consideration, you know, when I win the belt's mine. Obviously then you take Jack's position in WBO, so Terence Crawford's moving up their belts and then just gets scattered all over, right? So there's a lot of motivation in this fight, there's a lot of aspects and things going on behind the scenes that, you know, that people...
The winner of this fight will probably wind up in the top 3 of the WBO, so it's a great position. If whoever gets through this, they're in an exciting position, and I would think certainly in the next 9 to 12 months they'll fight for the world title. So they've got it all to go for. It's there, the winner's going to get presented an opportunity to move on to fight for the world title.
Jack, in a lot of ways, this is the big one, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, of course it is. Like Tyrone said, I've watched Tyrone's last couple of fights and it's not been impressive, but I know I've watched Tyrone over the years and I know that he's going to be training hard, preparing well for the fight, but more than anything, I believe in my ability. And I know October the 21st I'm coming to get that title.
He's fast, isn't he? And he's got a lot of heart. At his best, he can be very, very difficult. You've got to be looking for the best Tyrone nurse, haven't you?
Yeah, it'd be a fool not to. I know that Tyrone, we've had plenty notice for the fight, that we're training hard, preparing his best, and likewise there'll be no stone unturned on my side, and we're fully ready come fight night.
How do you beat him? You think you'll knock him out?
You'll see in October, I'm coming to knock him out. It'd be a fool not to, I think. More so for the fans, everybody wants to see the knockout. And come if I can't knock him out, I'm going to beat him over the 12 rounds.
Tyrone, if he doesn't knock you out, can he beat you over the 12 rounds, or do you outwork him and win it long, maybe on points?
Now, obviously, he's got his plan. He's expecting to win, and I'm coming to win myself, and that's all I see. I see me winning, and still, he thinks he's going to see I'm going to and still. That's all it comes down to, and still.
Excellent fight on paper, isn't it, Frank? I mean,
it's a great fight.
It's got the makings.
It's a great fight, and I've got to tell you something. I think it'll be a really good fight tonight. I think it's on paper. We all know what it is. I think on the night it'll be, because they've got so much these two guys to go for. As I mentioned earlier, the winner knows what he's going to get.
Rematch with the trainers.
Could get that on as well. On the just before, get them just before.
Right. Okay. Well, you'll have a chance to talk to them head to head, of course, as we progress through the afternoon. But time now to concentrate on the main event, which is the eliminator for Lee Selby's World Featherweight title, and it looks as though that could happen next year. So the winner of that, hopefully, will be going on to that. And Josh, back here in Leeds once more before the adoring public, you must be just looking forward to getting out there and showing your talents once more.
Well, first of all, good to be back. Obviously, it's a hell of a show to be looking forward to. All talent like Zelfa Barrett, these two here, you know, in Jack and Tyrone, going to be a cracking card. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm real hungry. You know, there's a lot been going on behind the scenes in trying to make big fights happen. You know, we don't spout too much on social media like other fighters do, but you know, a lot of things have been happening. Been trying to make the world title. Unfortunately, that happened, and we're in this position now, knocking on the door for world title. You know, we've had eliminators before, but this is an IBF final eliminator. After this, I can't be denied. I'll be mandatory challenger. Everything comes down to this. All the previous fighters, all the way back going, you know, to from your Joe Brunkners, your Amagassas, your Keiko Martinez, you know, all that means nothing now. It's all down to this one. And I'm giving absolutely everything. There's no way I'm coming this far and not going to win this fight. You know, this is just Dennis is just holding the keys. I'm taking them keys off and going through that gate, and then the world title's on.
And anybody in boxing, Josh, you know, I mean, those who follow the sport, watch the sport, as everybody here does, I'm sure. They know that Dennis is a quality fighter.
Dennis is a very quality fighter. You know, he's unbeaten, former Olympian. You know, he's beat Ryan Walsh, again, defending his European title. Had a good 4 rounds with Isaac Lowe in a scrap over in his backyard, but I don't think he's been with any calibre that I've been in. You know, I've done the hard 12 rounds. You know, like I say, for the last 3-4 years, I'm accustomed to championship level boxing now. I can do it at a very high pace, and I don't think he's travelled that well. I don't think he's been away before out of his backyard. You know, coming to Leeds, I've heard many fighters say before that they don't mind fighting in front of a big crowd. Joe Brunkner were guilty of saying that before, and then when he walked out in front of that crowd, it was like a rabbit in headlights. This Leeds is a different place. There's nowhere like it in the world. When you walk out today, it's a bear pit, and you know, I'll go as far as saying that people want you to get hurt when you walk out there. You come in to fight. You come in to fight me, and they're my boys in crowd and my supporters, and they're going to see me lose, and they're going to make it hostile, and it's going to be intimidating. I've got full respect to Dennis. He's just an hungry guy. He's wanting to progress forward in his career, but you know, I don't see it none other than a gatekeeper. And October 21st, I'm well up for this fight.
I'll give you a pronunciation guide first of all for Dennis's surname. You told me beforehand it's not CEYLAN or CEYLAN or anything else. It's CEYLAN, correct? CEYLAN, Dennis CEYLAN. So Dennis, tell us your thoughts about Josh.
Josh, he got my respect. I take my hat off. He fights a lot of good fighters, and he won them all. I'm looking forward to come in his background and backyard and fight him here in Leeds. Looking forward to it.
Is the atmosphere something that potentially worries you a little bit? Because if you've not experienced something like that before, I can tell you,
I'm a
it's
little
pretty
scared
hot.
actually. I have seen all his fans, and he got
great fans. You know, it's an awesome place. What I have seen in YouTube. So I'm looking forward to come there and fight Josh.
He said that you might be like a rabbit in the headlights, that sometimes fighters have been like that. I don't know if there's a Danish equivalent of those words, but it basically means that a little animal gets into a sort of a bear pit atmosphere and can't cope.
Probably. We will see what will happen in the ring, so looking forward to it.
How do you beat this guy? What's the secret?
I will not.
You're not going to tell me?
I will not beat him.
You will not beat him?
No.
You will not beat him?
He's too good.
Cheers, Dennis.
Interesting theory.
Let's get after party book now. Let's fight Selby now, come on.
That's a stupid question, isn't it? Look at my arms, how skinny they are. How should I beat him? He's a great fighter.
Oh, reverse psychology.
Yeah. You know,
it's clever.
I don't think you're taking that too seriously.
No, no. And by the way, don't be taking any of that party dust before we fight as well, mate. I know you've got an option for that, but...
About what?
Don't be taking any of that party dust before the fight.
No, of course not.
Of course, yeah. There's plenty of boys who would like a party with in crowd, but you know, wait until after fight party.
I don't understand. Waste of words.
Talking about staying away
from the cocaine. I took it and I took my time also, so let's pass through that. Now we're fighting, so let's look forward to that instead of the cocaine case.
You served a ban, you were fined. I guess you just say that was a mistake and you move on.
Exactly.
Okay, well, you've heard from the guys, including one or two contentious areas which you might want to hear more about. Maybe you want to hear more from Haroon and Chris. Any questions from the floor, please? Any questions?
You mentioned at the start that main demands were being made by these people for a voluntary defence. Could you
well, the money we eventually got to, which was phenomenal money, but we thought, you know, we're with Josh and we, as he well knows, we were going to put the money up to, obviously Steve and his dad Sean know what the situation is, so we were going to prepare to do that, to get the opportunity, but the rest of the stuff that went with it was ridiculous. One of the things was they wanted a rematch clause, which, you know, I understand, but depending on how the fight ends, and Josh beats it, depending on how he beats it, if the IBF said there couldn't be a rematch, then they wanted him to vacate the title to do the rematch. Well, that's not what we were playing for. We were playing for the title, and there was a few other things there. So the bottom line is that we decided to go this route. Don't worry about what Dennis says. I know Dennis is going to come to fight because it's a great opportunity for him. Beat Dennis, then there is no stuff about options and all this ridiculous stuff about vacating titles. Then it's a straightforward fight, and the winner's a champion. And I think Josh has got the bit between his teeth. His last fight out, he did extremely well when you consider that he's in the third round. He banged his hand up, badly banged it up. I've still got the photo on my phone of it, and never even made a comment about it after the fight. No one knew about it really. That tells you what he's like. He's not a crybaby. He just gets on with it, which I like about him. But he did bang his hand up badly. So comes through this fight. Hopefully beats Dennis. Then fights Selby. We'll get that fight on. We'll move heaven and earth to get that fight on here in Leeds. And then, you know, I'm quite sure he can wind up becoming a world champion. He's good enough to do it. He's got a good team around him. He's got a great manager. He's got a really fantastic trainer in his father. I think the whole situation here can go from strength to strength, and he's the guy who can deliver it.
Frank, I don't know whether you've spoken to them or whether Steve maybe, who I should have introduced, and I apologise, Steve is Josh's manager. I don't know if you've spoken, Steve, directly to Lee Selby. Have you had the indication that he personally, as a fighter, would want the fight?
Well, under the rules of the board, I couldn't speak directly to Lee Selby, but Frank was dealing, I think, with Al Hayden's people, and to try and move it along, I got in touch with Senegal, who manages him, and
I've spoken.
To be honest with you, not just a few things that Frank mentions. I think the options was Frank was putting a lot of money into this there, and then they wanted him, if he was to win, so we'd have 2 fights for Al Heyman. Well, what's Frank putting the money for is to build Josh up, and me and Josh, when we sat down with Frank and moved, we were telling him what we wanted, and it was to be on Frank's shows and on BT. And what we've got on this card is exactly what we wanted. You know, Josh leads up all on his own, and what we said was we wanted good fights underneath it, and we've got 5 championship fights, Josh plus 4, which are belting fights, and we wanted the Leeds kids on it, and we've got Jack Bateson, who's, you know, top UK kid to me, we've got Jack Daniels, we've got Damon Jones, and Darren Tepper's local as well, so everything we wanted, we've got. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really pushing for the Selby fight because I think it's an Ellen Road fight, that, and the time is perfect now, so I think we can win the final eliminator there in Leeds, pack it out of the arena, and then next year, world title at Ellen Road, and everyone wins then.
I don't think they wanted it. Really? There's 2 ways to say you don't want to fight. I don't want it, or I price myself out of it, or make the terms so impossible that you can't make the fight. And that's what they did. But you know, Josh comes through this, they got no choice. It's fight him or vacate the title. It's as simple as that. That's where we're at. And we are in the Josh Warrington business. That's what we're in. We're delivering for him. That's what this is all about. That's what putting boxing on in Leeds is all about. That's what these fantastic fans come out for to see. And we want to accommodate and make sure that we deliver. And I know that you're delivering the ring.
I'll just add to that as well, and you know, a lot of stuff's been made over the last 12 to 18 months of me avoiding Selby or not wanting the Selby fight, which is there's no other way of being around the bush. It's a lot of bollocks. You know, I wanted that fight since day one, and after whatever happened last May, June, July, when I was with previous promoter, we was talking about making an offer then. It never materialised. When we spoke to Frank said he'd do what he can to make that happen, and he's delivered. You know, he's gone out there, he's put an offer on the table, and he's moved everything in the nerve to try and make the fight happen. And you know, when he mentioned there, Steve don't get involved like his team did. I mean, I remember last year when the fight didn't happen, just because I wanted to change a date. And all of his team, including Jamie Sanigan and whatnot, took to social media, spouting off and giving it big and not really professional, to be honest. But you couldn't really see Steve doing that. He's a businessman, he's a manager, and that's what they're supposed to be doing for him. There were no statements what came out for him, and it's just kind of been swept out of carpet. Maybe I'm guilty of that because I don't take to social media, but I'd rather do me talking here in front of the camera rather than keyboard, and rather do me talking in ring. But make no mistakes about it, it's given me a bit between the teeth, and I'm fully focused for this fight. I'm not looking past Dennis whatsoever, but it's giving me more motivation and more hunger to do a job and make this other fight happen and squash everything once and for all. First of all, we've got to see if he's going to be champ. I mean, that's right. I'll be IBF #1 contender, I'll be mandatory challenger, and it's October. He's not got a fight coming up. We were talking about fighting Leo Santa Cruz. He's out 7th of October on the same show as Adam Amaris. Probably that'll build up to be a fight with them two. So where does he go? I don't understand why he wouldn't have taken the money and had the fight. It labels a bit easy work all the time. So make the fight, but I'm coming for you, Lee. You're going to be in a position where you can't avoid me, and that's that. And for the rest of them, believe what you want to believe. You'll see when I pick that world title above my head.
Does that answer your question, Steve? Any follow-up? Anything else you want to touch on?
No, it's fine, Josh. I'm frankly
Okay, brilliant. Anybody else? Yes, Nick.
Team Warrior. Let me just say first and foremost, don't think that with all this Selby talk, that for 1 second we're taking his eyes off you. You are our priority first and foremost. So don't think that we took his eyes off. We know where we want to go, we know where we're going, and you happen to be the man in the way. Just remember that. Also, back to Jack, just from a personal point of view, I'm a boxing fan and a boxing man. How did you personally feel, no disrespect to you, Harry, or any of the team, how did you personally feel when you was offered the British title fight with Tyrone initially, and then, I don't know what happened, it did happen, you was a mandatory, wasn't it? No disrespect, you was mandatory. Did you feel he wasn't ready? Was it break up or mix up?
There was a change of, I don't know what happened, because there was a change of trainers, and it was felt that because of that, Jack wanted to, not him, but the management and whatever, all wanted to ensure that he got used to his training before the fight. That was as simple as that. That's what the background is to it. I know what this guy brings to the table, and I certainly know what Chris brings to the table, so he's got to be the top of his game. I'm saying this is, you know, I've said all we have to say about how great fights are, but it will be. This is a great fight card. There's a couple of other fights on there as well that we've got to talk about. You know, there's a good fight on there with Metcalf and Jones. That's a cracking fight. Both of them, they've got good records. One defeat between them in 31 fights. You know, it's a decent fight. We've got Daniel Dubois, if he comes for his fight down in London on the 16th. He'll be coming up here, making his debut outside of London. And believe you me, he's certainly, I think, one of the best young heavyweights in the country. And I think that, you know, the fans are going to enjoy seeing him. It's a good fight card, good fights, and you've got to get out and support him out. Come and see him, come and see Josh fight, because this guy will be there. I know that he don't come to make up the numbers, so I always say in these type of fights, he's coming to win, and we want to make that a cauldron for him. As soon as he gets inside that venue, let him know he's in the lion's den. He signed the contract, he's done what Selby wouldn't do, he signed the contract to come and fight. He's willing to come to the lion's den, so let's give him a real hot welcome when he gets there and make it everything in Josh's favour.
Any more questions, guys?
Josh, Frank, how would you envisage the timescale of this going? Obviously, you've got to get past this fight first, but in terms of, we're presuming, world title fight against Lee Selby at Ellen Road, it's what people have always talked about.
You know, I mean, we're talking about it, it's a bit disingenuous towards Dennis, really, but I mean, I suppose that's what the bond settlements on everybody's mind. We can do that, and the mandatory will be due. Whoever wins this fight, the mandatory due is due in March. So no one's going to be fighting in January or February. In March, they're going to have to fight the winner. And certainly from our end, if it goes the way we hope it'll go, then we'll be pressing for that to get that fight on. So around March, we'll be negotiating, trying to see where we go. If the worst comes to worst, it goes to purse bids. If we win the purse bids, football season finishes in May. That's where we'll be.
That's right.
That's the plan. He's going to try and screw that plan up.
Any more? Yes? No? Right, okay. Well, you've heard from all the guys. They're all available. Oh, sorry, go on, Nick.
As well. Dennis, if you will, what flaws do you see in young Josh Warrington that maybe, hopefully, you think that you can capitalise on?
I didn't understand the question, right?
What flaw? What weaknesses?
Weaknesses. As I told you, I said that Josh is a very good fighter all around. You know, his defensive boxing style is also good, and his offensive attacking mode is also great. So he's all over a great fighter. So we'll see what happens Saturday, the 21st.
Right, are there any more questions?
Opportunities for head-to-head photographs and interviews are there for everybody now. All the guys are here. They'll do all their interviews for you.